Brett, how's it going?
Good morning, good morning.
Nice to meet you.
Good to see you guys.
How's everything been going?
It's going great. Welcome.
Been hanging in there?
Yeah, it's a nice time of year. Weather's good. Have a little fun. Getting outside again, right?
Okay. Been playing golf lately?
Well, I'm trying to. Yeah.
Well, that's good. Brought some golf balls.
You guys have moved up the notch a little bit.
A little bit higher budget.
Yeah. Like it a lot.
So, has anything changed since our last meeting?
Well, yeah, it has.
Okay.
So unfortunately, as you guys know, we've been going back on many of the canopy installations and retrofitting some LED lights.
Okay.
And unfortunately, recently we had one of those installations get brought into question about a fire.
Okay.
There was a storm that grew, lightning struck, and the carrier for the convenience store gas station is blaming our installation of that product. We think it was a lightning strike. So there's a difference of opinion there of where that goes. But my concern is, does this change anything of what you guys are doing and talking about, or any of your plans to help protect me for things like this?
Well, it's a good thing I brought Camden in with us today, because he's an expert in that. So I'll let Camden introduce himself to you. I know you haven't met him yet, so he can give you some background information on himself, and then we just got clarify any questions that you might have.
Okay.
A quick presentation. So yeah, go ahead.
So like Tanner said, I'm an expert in risk management. I'm a certified risk manager. That's why he brought me along today, because I'm on a little bit of a different view. So my part in All American is I like to go in and mitigate risk. That's my big thing, is making sure that there's as little risk as possible. So like you
I
said,
like the sound of that.
like you said with the lightning strike, my job would be to go in and make sure that that's as least likely to happen as possible. And then when it does, because some things are just out of control, that's where we'll cover that.
Right.
So as of right now, we've still got 20 minutes for a stage meeting.
Yeah, that's good.
I know you're probably in a rush, so we want to get you in and out. We brought some packets and some information and stuff here with us to make it kind of easy on us.
Okay.
I've got a digital version of our PowerPoint, but this is just some added information on everything. So we'll kind of go over that, get this pulled up, and get started into our presentation really quick so we can all three see it here. So this is our quick presentation. Came I'll let you kind of control that, the sliding button.
Sounds good.
So if we start in on our first slide, we just jump straight into it. So why All American Insurance? So at All American, the first thing we want to do is we want to reduce stress. So we brought this for you.
Wow.
We want our
Think outside the box.
That's what we're getting into next.
So we've been in the business for 30 years now, as you may have mentioned last time in the meeting. We've got 2,600 employees nationwide, as I told you. And our net promoter score is 5 of 5 right now. The true value add from All American would be thinking outside the box, as I said with that. And we want to relieve stress. We want to be the stress reliever, because trust me, in this business, there is a lot of stress, as you know.
So like I said, we're going to talk about thinking outside the box. The biggest way we did that, you're going to hear me say mitigate risk a lot. That's really crucial for.
Because you're the expert, right?
Yeah, I even get annoyed sometimes.
We all do, right?
It's an everyday thing.
Just imagine how he feels. The biggest way we're going to do that is we're going to review, and we're going to advise your employees and you to make sure that they're as safe as possible, which makes you safer as well. So we're going to go in, see the operation, make sure that everything's safe, and then afterwards we'll talk about covering things.
You want to hit that point? So, as you know, big business, we want to be a true partnership with you.
Okay.
We don't want to just be a big company overseeing you or anything like that, trying to provide coverage. we want to be your right hand man. So at All American, we want a true business partnership, and that's why today we brought a letter of intent with us. We'll go over that. We've got some estimations, some quotes on there. It's not hard numbers. It's not down to brass tacks. So don't hold us all.
Don't hold you to it.
Don't hold you to it. That's why we've got a good relationship with our other buyers, so we can go through and modify some things. We'll kind of get into that if you want to hit the next one for me. So we'll go through that, but it's not down to everything. So we're kind of going to go through some of our critical policy gaps that we've got for you. So right here, if you just want to look over that sheet as well.
Okay.
That's our letter of intent, but this is also some of the gaps that we've found. So one big thing we can, who do you have to have that would need to be covered? Be yourself, father, anybody else inside the business that needs to be covered. Who all would need to be covered in that?
Yeah, unfortunately, once I've taken over the business from my in-laws, it's just me.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm the key man, right?
On the board right now. Okay.
Yeah, so that may be a problem.
That's fine. We can take care of that.
Well, another person that can be insured is that it's like your manager of the manufacturer. I don't know how.
Yeah, we have a couple of managers, supervisors in the organization.
The high up employees that you'd be worried, if something were to happen.
Gotcha. Okay. So if I lost one of those managers or supervisors on the manufacturing of the product, you're saying that they're potentially covered for that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then another thing would be company vehicles. I'm assuming you probably drive, personal company vehicle, and then you may have some other people that might drive them as well, maybe managers or anybody like that might have that. That's one thing that we have to have covered.
Yeah. No, I mean, we don't have any company vehicles.
Okay,
No, my truck is in the company name. Are you talking like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, so that would have to be covered.
Okay.
Another one would be professional liability insurance, and you're going to see all this stuff on the list. And I know some of these names can be confusing and all of that stuff, considering this is kind of our expertise and everything like that. So if you have, if you want to know exactly, we're kind of giving you gist of everything.
Okay.
But we've got exact definitions of what everything means on here. If you want to know, down to the direct definition, we've got it all.
Okay.
So you can have that, keep it, and look good anytime.
Okay.
Cameron wrote that up himself, so if there's any errors.
So I don't have professional liability on my current policy?
So your current policy is, you have a BOP right now?
Right.
Okay. A lot of BOPs don't cover as wide of a liability.
Okay.
So like right now, you may be covered for some, but there's a lot of liability.
Okay.
Commercial liability that you're just missing.
Gotcha. All right.
BOP.
Wow.
Another one, of course, errors and omissions. Cameron knows all about this stuff. That workers' compensation. I'm sure you've had a couple cases about workers' compensation. That's one thing that has to be covered. We've got to get down into that because we don't want anything to happen. We don't want that to fall back on you all. Get in trouble with it. And this is probably a really big one. This is a higher one on the list. Would be your commercial flood insurance. Of course, being here in the Panhandle, Florida, we've got to make sure we watch out for that, especially with the weather and everything. Sovereign ransomware insurance, commercial umbrella insurance, and I know you said that you all have an ops at the Florida State Games.
We do.
So another one would be post-liquor liability, in case anybody's driving, anybody's coming to or from the game, anybody's had a couple of drinks, you are just hanging out, everybody's, doing their own thing, a couple of drinks, and they decide to leave the game and something might happen, or, somebody's walking down the steps, they're wanting to go down to the field and celebrate after the game's over with, and somebody trips and falls. But they've had a couple of drinks. That would cover them for that, and that saves you all big time on that. Is there any questions about any of those gaps that we can kind of clarify for you? I know you might have a couple of questions on it.
Yeah, just, again, we can, why would I need cyber? I mean, cyber, you hear about it, but I'm just a small business owner.
Yeah.
I'm just manufacturing lights. What cyber exposure would I have?
I hear that a lot because, you don't expect cyber. You know, when you think of cyber attack, you think Amazon or huge companies.
Exactly. Target.
Yeah.
500 companies.
Yeah. But you'd be surprised. These hackers, they'll go for anybody that they can get money for. And a lot of times, that is the smaller businesses. So right now, you're actually, if you're not covered for cyber ransomware, you're kind of a target for these bad people who just want to take your money, and that can be really detrimental because they can shut down your whole business for a week, 2 weeks, months, and you just can't do anything with that.
Yeah. Wow.
Based off this list that we've provided so far, if you can just on the letter of intent here, if you can just prioritize some of those. First, that we should have 10 boxes on there. Just kind of prioritize those, 1 through 10, so we can get an idea of how you think. I mean, personally, I would say key man would be number 1 in our opinion, from our expertise. We would say key man, company vehicles, basically almost just down the list, straight through pretty much. And then we'll kind of get to our next slide, if you want to hit that for me. I know you're probably sitting here thinking that we're very young. Clearly we are.
I wasn't going to say anything.
I like to think that I'm a good looking guy. I'm pretty young.
I understand.
So, we just graduated a couple of years ago, but, I went to Eastern Kentucky as well. Spent 2 years there, All-American. We have a year-long extensive training program before I can, become a insurance counselor. And in Canada as well, he had to go through his time at EKU. I was born for that. But I can assure you, we've been in the business, for quite some time now. We've got a lot of clients. This is some of our bigger clients, our reference list, so you can kind of see that kind of give you a little bit of ease.
These are clients in the area too, in Florida. If you'd like, we can email you after this meeting so you can get in contact with someone.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Guys, I'm trying to make a tough decision here. The buck stops with me now for making this decision. So you wouldn't mind me calling some of these clients
We can set up a lunch. We can set up lunch with you. We'll come
you
in.
pay them?
I mean, I can.
Wow.
We can
Free lunch.
We can write it off. We'll all go in and sit down. We'll meet with any of the clients that you want, or we can try to have somebody, an executive from each company come in, just tell you what all we've done for them. How much we've helped so far. So one thing on our next one that we want to get into, is just we've got a list of recommendations, for short-term and long-term.
Okay.
So one thing, we just want to add the most critical endorsements and coverage for you. As Canaan said, mitigate risk. I can't stand saying that now. It just keeps falling back on there. Yeah. I hear it in my sleep quite often. So we want to come in and do a complete risk management assessment. We want to come in and evaluate all your assets, property, everything like that. Just kind of get a good idea, and you'll see that on the second or third bullet in there. It's just a detailed review of everything that goes on. It's nothing to stress about. I know when I say we're coming in and doing evaluation and assessment, you probably think we're coming in and digging through everything. We're not. You wouldn't even know that we're there, honestly. So we just got to come in and check all that and make sure everything's down to it all.
That normally takes about an hour, would you say?
Yeah, it's long.
And it's very uninvasive. Like a lot of those last references, they're really worried that we disrupt business.
Right.
We've been doing this, our team's been doing this for years. So we've learned how to go in, employees don't even know we're there.
Okay.
We're just
that's a concern.
Yeah.
Because we're a small operation, we've got a pretty good team, and I don't need any disruption.
Yeah.
As we review this stuff.
That's the last thing you want to do is slow down your operation.
Right.
So,
Right.
We'll be in there, so you don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
We can bring you some lunch when we do that.
Okay.
Take care of you. The other thing we want to do is we kind of come in and review the contracts, subcontractor, and for the FSU suite as well. We want to come
Is
in.
there a charge for that?
No, there's not.
That's a service you guys provide?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, we provide that for all of our clients. We want to come in, like Cameron said, you had a question about the cyber attacks and stuff like that. So we just want to come in and do a backup on your cloud services, make sure everything's intact in case anything may happen in the future. And then another thing that would be good for your employees, and you can compete in it yourself, would be a safety and employee certification program. basically saying that everybody's OSHA certified, everything like that, you know, because we don't want anybody getting cut by any sheet metal or anything like that that you all deal with. And, you know, the people that you all outsource stuff to as well, your installation process. We want to make sure everybody's covered, so there's no risk at all. You know, and I keep harping at this. I know I sound like Camden now that I'm preaching stuff again. This is, you know,
You a preacher or are you a insurance?
I'm insurance.
Okay, I just checking.
I'm insurance. You know, a true business partnership is what we want. And I'm assuming that's what you would want as well. You know, we don't want to be somebody that's looking over you at all times. You know, when you call us, it takes 3 to 5 days to get a hold of us. You can call me anytime you want. You know, you've got my information already. I can give you additional information. You'll have my personal number, and you can get a hold of Camden as well. You know, a lot of people in the insurance business, they like to put off things, and they don't want to get back to their clients, and we don't want to do that. You know, so we want to have that true partnership, just almost exactly like we're sitting right beside you at all times.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that's, guys, that's what I'm looking for, because my business is growing, and I need somebody that's gonna be alongside me to take care of it.
Exactly. Yeah. And then for long-term goals, you know, once again, you know, mitigate risks. That's Camden's expertise, you know, and we want to do that through quarterly reviews, you know, and we want to do regular meetings as well, you know, with everybody in the company to make sure nothing is going to happen. You know, we want to watch out for you at all times. You know, we don't want any mistakes made. We want to improve and plan all the time. And, you know, as I said, you know, with the price sheet on here, we have a good relationship with our underwriters. So we want to be able to come in and sit down with them and say, hey, you know, Brett's giving me all his documents. Here's what's going on. Let's see what we can write up. And sometimes, you know, if you don't have a good relationship with your underwriters, they're just going to say, okay, here's a sample quote. This is what it is, you know, and bring it back to him, get him to sign the documents. Well, that's not what we are at All American. We have really good relationships with our underwriters. You know, we can go in and I can say, hey, my buddy Brett, he's doing this. He gave me all his documents. Here's his declarations page. Let's get it down as low as we can. You know, we want his premiums as low as possible. Although we don't give discounts or anything like that, we have such good relationships with our underwriters that we can get the numbers down as much as possible.
And the more we mitigate the risk, the more the underwriters are going to help us out.
Okay.
So how do you feel that this, you feel the presentation's kind of went past your expectations, or?
Well, yeah, I certainly wasn't expecting some of these things. You know, I'm a small business owner, and now you're telling me I got a cyber exposure. You know, I'm just manufacturing lights. I mean, you know, why are they coming after me?
Yeah, exactly.
And then, you know, of course, you talk about the business auto. I mean, you know, I have a truck. Yes, it's owned in the business name, but it's my truck.
Yeah.
Right? Now you're telling me I got to get more insurance. So, you know, it's something to think about.
Yeah. So how do you feel about signing with All American? You know, making it a true partnership.
Well,
I
I do appreciate it. This gives me a lot to think about, but as you all know, I told you in the first meeting, I'm interviewing a few folks, and I want to make sure, you know, I give everybody a fair due.
Exactly.
And, but you guys have really presented some things to think about. You brought some things to my attention that certainly my current agent hasn't advised me. So yeah, you know, something to think about.
Well, that's a good thing, because this is a non-binding agreement.
Okay.
So it's a non-binding letter of intent. So basically what this is, we're not signing you any contract or anything like that. You're not going to have to pay any service fees, no down payment, you know, no premiums, nothing like that you're probably thinking of. So this document right here just says that you're going to provide documents to us at All American, and we are going to commit our business to you. As you know, we've got 2,600 employees. We've got a lot of people. When we come in and we look at, you know, all your documents and everything that you give us, we're going to be sitting at a round table like this. We're probably going to have 10 people, and everybody's going to go through everything and nitpick it, you know, down to the penny. We want to know every single little thing, you know, we want to make sure that we knock out all the risks and everything like that. So this document right here basically just says that you are agreeing to us that, you know, you are saying, hey, I'm providing these documents to you. We can create a business partnership, but this is it's non-binding, as I said. And this also signifies that we at All American are committing our time and money to you. Because of course, as you know, it's expensive. We have to pay employees and stuff like that. So it's a non-binding agreement.
Well, and I appreciate that, that it's non-binding. But my concern is, I feel at this stage, I want to hear what everybody has to say.
Okay.
I want to compare, because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to compare your stuff with other stuff and see who rises to the top.
Okay. That sounds great.
How about we set up another meeting then, and we can talk more?
Yeah, now that I can go for.
Does next Tuesday sound good?
Morning,
Yeah, what time? 9 o'clock?
9 o'clock, see you bright and early.
Sounds good to us.
All right,
Appreciate it.
thank you.
We appreciate it. We
Absolutely.
look forward to seeing you next week.
Good meeting you.
Appreciate it.
Can I keep this?
Yep.
You sure?
Yeah.
I'll look over those numbers, so.
Once again, thank you very much. We
And
appreciate it.
good luck, you guys.
Thank you.
Where is Eastern Kentucky?
It's more central Kentucky, actually. It's
Closer to Lexington?
Yeah.
Lexington, okay.
About 35 minutes away.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not far.
Thank you.
We got 10 minutes, right?